Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here I have an article for you guys from the Business Wire. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So this is an older article from this year. And the interesting part about what T-Mobile can accomplish, in my opinion, that's a more competitive threat to AT&T and Verizon than anything else, is expand its network coverage. Expand into areas where only Verizon and AT&T have existed for the last decade. I think that should be a big priority, or even T-Mobile's biggest priority moving through 2024. So in this article, they've expanded across Virginia. They posted one in North Carolina. They did one for Texas. And I'm positive, 100% positive, through 2024, we will get plenty more of those types of articles where they highlight and pinpoint their expansion. I'm hearing Wisconsin is a big one that they're focused on right now. Tons of sites being built there and constructed. Nebraska is another big one that I'm hearing that they're constructing and building tons of sites. So they're busy right now. They're very busy. They're very focused on getting the network to par with the benchmark competitor, because that gives T-Mobile once and for all the competitive edge that it needs to really compete and keep their churn as low as possible. See, in the past, T-Mobile's biggest issue always was, we're good here, but we're not great there. So then the customer would use the network in a certain part of town or a certain city, and it worked great, and they were okay with the price that they were paying. But then after the fact, when that customer traveled somewhere else, mainly outside of city limits, they churned almost instantly back to Verizon or AT&T because T-Mobile had no coverage. And even backtracking to when the proposed AT&T and T-Mobile merger failed and T-Mobile got roaming for 7 years on AT&T's network, that roaming was trash. I'll just be honest. I tried it back when I had T-Mobile as my primary. In the city, it was decent, right? But as soon as I traveled outside of city limits, I latched onto the AT&T roaming portion, and it was just terrible. It was hardly gave any speeds. Streaming was bad. So, and then T-Mobile didn't want to pay for the top-notch roaming, so they got the least amount of priority. The speeds were throttled. So it just wasn't a great experience. So again, as soon as you left city limits, just even like 20, 30 miles outside of the city limits, you were roaming them instantly. So that just wasn't a great experience. And that's what T-Mobile is working on to solve that problem. That's what I've been told. It's very strategic. They know they need to fix that once and for all. And they already have a large chunk done. I know now they cover well over 2.4, 2.5 million square miles with its network, but they need another 200,000 to 300,000 square miles to go, or they have another 200,000 to 300,000 square miles to go to catch up to the competition. And that's noticeable. That is a noticeable, especially if you happen to travel to those parts for whatever reason. It's noticeable. It's not as noticeable as it once was. Most of your areas, if you're in a decent sized PEA, your surrounding areas should be covered now in 2023 going into 2024. But I know for some smaller PEAs, that's still a concern. Like, for example, my market, El Paso, we border New Mexico. And New Mexico was the poor coverage part in the past. They had El Paso covered fine. They had huge market share, but then traveling across into New Mexico, if you're familiar, going to Cloudcroft, Ruidoso, Alamogordo, that was kind of a pain in the butt, especially if you were traveling with T-Mobile. But now, T-Mobile in a lot of those parts, I'll be honest, they went from worst to first. They beat out AT&T in coverage the last time I went to Cloudcroft. A buddy of mine had AT&T. They had no service. I had 5G UC. So, it's progress. They got more progress to make. 2024 will be another year of progress. And 2025 will be another year of progress. But the biggest priority, in my opinion, for T-Mobile needs to be closing those coverage gaps. Yes, they got capacity needs in some areas. They got to get C-band and DoD going. All that's fine and dandy, but they need to close those coverage gaps. That's a big priority. Right now, across a large part of the country, they can handle most of the traffic through 2024 with 2.5. C-band and DoD will gradually start being deployed, but they can handle a huge chunk of the traffic at least through 2024 with 2.5. They got PCS refarming, AWS. They got a few more Sprint Keep sites to implement and to convert. So they'll be fine through 2024. But the coverage gaps, they have to close that gap as quickly as they possibly can. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that video today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you've experienced some of those coverage gaps. I'm sure most of you have at one point or another. So leave those comments in the comments. If you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.